So I think the government can adopt a number of policies to support industrial transformation, digital innovation, and to support implementation of sustainability and ESG initiatives for the green transition. I think the first one, the most important one, is access to capital, because the companies in Vietnam still struggle with accessing to capital that enables them to invest in transformation and to invest in sustainability. So the government, together with the State Bank of Vietnam, can implement a number of measures to provide access to additional financing that can be in form of guarantees, warrants, low interest loans, or other subsidies that can be provided to companies. There are very good examples of such activities of other governments. For example, the German government with the German bank KfW, which is the development bank of Germany, provides very good frameworks for such activities that we can learn from and we can implement in Vietnam. The second thing would be a vast array of cash and non-cash incentives that can be provided to the companies. One is on various sorts of tax incentives, but even more important often are the non-cash incentives. So the companies need to have less burden on bureaucracy. They need to have simplified administrative procedure that enable to invest in projects related to green transition and transformation. Then again, we can learn from some other countries in our region, in Asia Pacific, especially South Korea, that is implementing such programs really, really well. The third policy that I would recommend is around focus on education. Education is very important to have the adequate human capital to be able to execute all those initiatives related to green transformation and digital transformation. So here we are talking about STEM education, we are talking about vocational training, continuous learning programs that we should be implementing. Lastly, in Vietnam, it's very important to include the transformation initiatives in the planning cycle. So when we prepare our socio-economic master plans for the nation and also for the provinces, we should include those sustainability measures, sustainability targets in the overall targets that we are setting for the economy. That means that we are not looking only at GDP growth, but we are looking at GDP composition, and we are looking at improving the quality of life of our citizens. So I think if we implement all these measures, we can not only keep up with the pace of global development in those areas, but we can actually become a leader in sustainability and a leader in industrial transformation in Asia Pacific and perhaps globally.
How do you assess the role of the banking industry in helping locality and cities of Vietnam in the process of industrial transformation?
So I think the role of banking industry is tremendous. As I said before, it's very important to enable access to capital for the industrial transformation initiatives. It's very important to enable access to capital for the green transition and sustainable initiatives, whether they are implemented by the government agencies or whether they are implemented by the private sector. And the banking sector, both state-owned and private, is crucial for that because the banks have access to financing, they have access to credit, they can cooperate with the State Bank of Vietnam to get some additional incentives and implement some additional program together also with some foreign development institutions. So I believe it's a tremendous role, but it has to be quite well structured. It has to be supported by the central government, supported by the State Bank of Vietnam, and there need to be programs put in place for the cities and for the enterprises, both those big ones and small ones, to be able to tap into those funds that will become available through the banking sector.